Hello, sir. Can I ask you about your costume and everything on that wonderful table behind you?
Oh, why, certainly.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Stephen Chapman.
And Stephen, what do you have here today?
Well, I have, this is my Gatling gun. It's different from most Gatling gun that you see in that it does actually rotate.
Wonderful.
And it has the gravity-fed clip, which is the only feature that Dr. Gatling actually had a patent on.
Yes.
And this was scratch-built.
Okay.
And
where do you find the parts for a scratch-built Gatling gun?
well, the barrels are CPVC. I had to have the disc made in a machine shop because it had to spin very true. And the rest is Halloween store bullets. The housing is made of ABS pipe. And this is a PVC pipe collar covered with leather. And this is part of a handle sconce. So just found objects.
Okay. And right here below the Gatling gun, we have an interesting device. What is this?
This is the rocket pack. Let me turn on the vacuum tubes here. See the,
So a nice glow coming from this. And you have some meters there, and
yes, and this is the wrist control.
oh, okay.
And you can disable it. Or enable it.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, what is the backpack made of? Because I see so many different parts here. This is wonderful.
These are actually passenger airbag housings. They were prototypes for a Swedish hybrid called a Fisker Karma.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really obscure.
Yes, yes, I will go with you on that, sir.
This is a double candle wall sconce, just turned upside down.
All right.
The tanks here are PVC copper. With actually, those are real copper rivets, though. I make the little gauges from CPVC pipe caps.
Okay. Now the dials on the gauges, those are.
This was a desk clock.
Ah. Okay.
This has a thermometer and a barometric pressure.
Let me get in a little closer for that. Now, how long did it take you to make the rocket pack?
Oh gosh, I've probably got 30 hours in this.
30 hours? Wow. It would take me about 30 years to make something like this. And you have a control cord coming back to your.
Yes, this was
Your
a
wrist mount.
this was a wrist blaster, a Buzz Lightyear wrist blaster.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yes,
That is ingenious.
Disney toys are the best.
Sir. Disney and Nerf, where would we be without them? And the Gatling gun, how long did it take you to make that?
Oh, I probably got at least 40 hours in that.
40 hours.
Yes, and including I was completely modeled in CAD software before I ever started.
That is a very prudent step, sir, and I applaud your industry there. You also have a variety of ray guns here on the table.
Let me show you this one. This is not a gun, although it looks like a gun. It is a plasma cutter. And you turn on the amplifier, and then you can engage the cutter.
That is so
This
nice.
is
Yes.
for cutting through jail cell bars and for locks.
Whatever we may have to cut
Yes, whatever
through.
you may have to cut through.
We do not promote illegal activities.
Yes.
But should the need arise.
Well, my persona is an agent for the company.
An agent for the company.
The company.
And tell me about, well, are you allowed to tell me about the company?
I can tell you very little about the company.
Okay.
There are rumors that it is sponsored by Alfred Nobel.
I see. That tricky Alfred Nobel.
Yes.
Who did make his fortune in dynamite, I believe.
Yes. How about that? And I'm a weapons master for the company.
You are the Q of Nobel.
And moving on here, we got this is one of my favorites, just because of the way it fits your hand.
That is a very nice wooden grip. Or is it that wood?
No. This was actually a video game, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's got the rocker switches here and a D-pad here, and I replaced that with a brass button off a thrift store blazer. And then the little video screen here, I replaced with since it didn't work anyway, I just replaced it with a panel and rivets and a gauge.
Wow.
And this is actually it's not a visual scope. This is actually a prey detector for dense vegetation.
Prey detector for oh my God.
Yes,
That
yes.
is great.
When it senses life signs, then you can see it on the gauge.
I understand. I understand. Great for those inevitable bug hunts.
Yes, this is a one of my ray guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Chinese make wonderful toys.
I think I've seen your parts of your gun out at Halloween.
Yes, probably.
Now, what's the body of this made of?
It's plastic. This was all, when I received this was all solid gray, except this was blue. I frosted this to add a little mystery to the interior, and then antique brass, the finish on the body, and copper paint on these. This is not actually not copper tubing. It's just copper paint on a feature that was already there.
Right, right. So just touching up some details with color gives it a completely different texture and feel.
Yes. Also from the Buzz Lightyear family. This was a ray gun. It used to stop here. I added the barrel with a flash suppressor and the vacuum tubes. This was a panel that would light up entirely.
Let's turn this sideways a little bit here.
So you see the bling?
Yes, the trim and everything is very nice, and the barrel gives it that great industrial feel to it. Like there's a lot of heft behind that. There's going to be some recoil when you fire this one.
Oh, it's hard to contain the energy in this. I mean, just watch. I mean, the panels start glowing red.
Wow. I feel very fortunate not to be on the business end of that.
Yes.
Yes. And we have some smaller weapons.
These are a couple of scratch-built all brass and copper and iron. These are all silver soldered. There's no glue or plastic used in the construction of these.
Silver solder.
Yes.
I think
this was actually 2 candlesticks, and they're silver soldered together.
Okay.
And here's a longer version of the same.
Those are very
concept.
elegant. Those are very nice and elegant. And I like the flange you have there at the tip.
Thank you. And these are my 3D binoculars.
Careful with the cord.
You can see they're 3D by virtue of the red,
Right.
red and blue, and they also have a Doppler scanner on top. You can. That's for calibration of the 3D.
Mr. Nobel must be indeed very pleased with you, sir. You are a genius.
That's for calibration of the 3D engine.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Also good for giving you a range on how far away that prey is.
This is also from the Gatling family. It has the gravity-fed clip, and it's based on the humble Nerf Maverick, very, very modified gun, except I
Extended the barrels there.
Extended the barrels, extended the frame, added the flash suppressor on the front.
Now, when you
It does still rotate.
we love our moving parts. When you extend the frame like this, how do you accomplish that?
This is with aluminum angle here, top riveted into the. I split the frame, pulled it apart, added the aluminum angle. The barrels were done. I cut the front of this revolving assembly off, moved it to the front, and then filled the gap with the CPVC, half-inch CPVC barrels.
Wonderful. That is very nice, sir. Very nice.
And I like the I like little guns with garish bits on them.
Yes, yes. I love your endless supply of vacuum tubes. There are many people who are very jealous of you and your ability to secure those.
Here's a real secret: quartz halogen headlight bulbs.
Ah.
My local advanced store saves these for me.
Okay. I've heard many times if you ask local vendors to save things for you or find things for you, they just get thrilled to do that.
Sure. Same thing on the plasma cutter. These are there's one LED and 5 used headlight bulbs. Well, one interior bulb, but 4 headlight bulbs. And this was my first, actually the first gun I ever built, and I'm still very fond of it. Used a Buccaneer pirate pistol as the base, then added various fiddly bits. I call this PIP a pulse-initiated plasma pistol. because I think in steampunk times, with exposure to technology, they would still pull on aesthetics from existing weapons.
Right,
So-
and we've just stepped away from the flintlock era and the single loading. We haven't gone too far from that,
Right.
industry-wise. So it would make sense to have weapons based on the old, reliable, and that's also very classic antique. To the steampunk, it would be an antique mode to it, and that is a beautiful weapon in itself. You have this is almost a leather. In this section?
Yes, this was a thrift store belt.
Okay. But it just gives a different texture to it, and the way you've combined the buccaneer and the leather and the fittings and such gives it a really nice feel to it. So
Thank you.
for a first piece, it's brilliant, sir. Now you have a small helicopter.
Yes, this is the mascot. It was actually a Shokakugan toy made by Hasbro back in 2003, and I found one in a thrift store. It was missing both propellers and missing the guns under the wings. So I made some suitably steampunked propellers for it.
Certainly.
And then also made a couple of Gatling guns to go under the wings because I felt they really needed it.
I think it does.
And being Dragon Con, I thought I would bring my little dragon.
Of course. And we appreciate you for that, sir. Now, one last thing I want to look at is that up in the corner
This one?
there. Yes.
Also, actually, a very early piece for me. This one. This is a plasma array, photon plasma array.
Photon plasma array.
Yes. And
Very
you
nice.
measure the signal strength back here with
Of
this.
course, yes.
It's made from a bottle cap, you can see.
Yeah. Not until you pointed that out.
So this was actually a Fantastic Four toy. It had a flame on the front. It was a Johnny Storm.
Because
Flame
Johnny
pistol.
Storm needed a gun. Yes.
You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, wow. And I like that big bolt in the middle of it there.
Oh yes.
And more of your headlight
Yes, exactly.
tubes.
I do want to make one with a tighter, smaller array. Mm-hmm. But yes.
Now, sir, is this your hobby, or do you sell these, or?
I do sell some. There's a gallery down in Pittsboro, North Carolina, that carries these, Davenport and Winkle-Perry.
Okay.
Most I build for my own collection.
Okay. Do you have a website or anything people should go to view you?
I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
I think I'm pushing 150,000 hits right now. It's if you'll search Enganear, Enganear.
In fact, sir, I am subscribed to you.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yes. You might be subscribed to me. I'm not sure.
Quite
but
likely.
I'm definitely subscribed to you. I do know that. I've seen some of your wares before, and I thought it looked very familiar, so I definitely wanted to come over here and talk to you.
Okay.
One
More I'd like to show you.
Oh, please.
This one I'm really proud of. It has such a classic ray gun shape.
Yes.
It was originally, it had an assembly out here on the front that went, and a blower on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And when you pulled the trigger, this ring you would have soap in the front, and it would pull a ring up and start the blower, and it would blow, it would blow bubbles. This was a bubble blower. So I added a tip from Advantage flea and tick killer for dogs. It's a wonderful shape. Then I also added an LED with some more vacuum tubes down inside with a micro switch to turn them on.
Okay.
So I really like this little pistol.
How long did it take you to make that?
With the painting and everything, probably 6 hours.
6 hours. Now, what project on here took you the longest to make of anything? Would that be
The Gatling gun, definitely.
the Gatling gun? And then we go from the Gatling gun, which was
To the rocket pack.
to the rocket bag. Okay. And what was the fastest thing? You picked it up and suddenly it was just there, and you knew exactly what you're doing with it. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, I would guess probably any of these Jaru pistols. These are available at Walmart. They're on clearance right now for 50 cents a piece.
Yes. I think there are quite a few in my house right now.
They steampunk wonderfully. They take very little effort. I just add the brass tip on them and a little gauge or some other fiddly bit.
Well, sir, I want to thank you very much for your generous time,
Oh, my pleasure.
and we hope to run into you again soon.
Excellent.
Thank you.